Hey everybody, this is Dean FM, Dean Fraser Milford, here for your creature comfort, and today I wanted to do another reaction video. This one is to If Men Opened Up About Mental Health, and as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. What I do on this channel, but at the same time, I am somebody who is openly neurodivergent and somebody who wants to be able to show the community and show the world that it is, as many content creators are doing nowadays, which I think is a great thing, opening up about mental health and opening up about my struggle and things I've went through in that sense. Trigger warning, please make sure to check out all my stuff. It's in the link below. I got a full reaction video playlist as well as my music and all my other links. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you like. And here we go. National Suicide Prevention Life.
Have you ever thought about taking your own life?
Yes. The sergeants found a noose in my closet that I was ready to use.
They took action. You might hate people. You might feel like you hate people who do that in a
Thought
moment.
about
But
ending things?
No.
I have, for sure.
Yes.
Is that something you feel
We're talking
comfortable
about this
sharing?
one.
Yes,
Okay,
I
hold on.
have been in really, really rough water, and the thought was, this is a way out of it.
There's been moments where I've definitely felt the pressure of
I
life.
feel like I was not meeting expectations of my parents, so I just obviously was feeling like a failure, and that my life was also just going to be a constant failure.
You ask yourself, why, do I deserve this?
Suppressing all your emotions deep down where nobody can find them.
There are no problems, there's just weakness.
I often feel like I am always like swimming, and sometimes I just get so tired of like
It's just
trucking,
feel like
the
you're
water
going
to keep my
nowhere
head.
sometimes.
Have you ever considered committing suicide?
I have attempted twice, but it's something I'm very open with talking about, because I think if we want to normalize mental health, that means we have to have the uncomfortable conversations about it.
I think we all hit low moments in our lives that make us think about where we're at. You have to talk about it with somebody and be honest about it. There's nothing wrong with having those thoughts or feelings. It's very normal.
I think guys are taught to just kind of tough it out. To be a man, you gotta be strong.
Be the main rock for the family.
Suck it up.
Being a man, you just couldn't show your feelings. It was really one of the biggest things that got me growing up,
I would fall and bruise my knee, and I would be like, ow! My dad would slap me or kick me and be like, what are you doing?
Sissy.
Just be strong.
Have you
Man
ever
up.
considered committing suicide?
No.
It's good.
Yeah, no, haven't.
Okay, good for you.
Personally, I have never.
That hits deep because my dad committed suicide, you know what I mean, when I was 10 years old. And I seen the pain that inflicted on my family. I wouldn't want to do that to my family.
Big thing
I
to
created
think
a
about.
very strange rule around the fact that now I can't ever do it. Since my uncle took that slot of suicide, I can't now be another person in the family to just do that when I have clear evidence of how it affects everyone.
Have you ever considered committing?
Okay, so a few things. First and foremost, there's no shaming in people who have committed suicide. People who have committed suicide have had a specific struggle that nobody can ever say that they've been in or can even dissect in any way, shape, or form, because you were never in that person's shoes, and that person is gone. And in terms of my own mental health, I've had suicidal issues, suicidal struggles, trials and tribulations, and as well attempts, and it was definitely something that was very scary to have gone through what I did, which was when I was very young, but it was a good thing that I was able to open up about it and get the help that I did at that time, because I think that I was perhaps more or less, or more than I have thought back then, and I still think even as it goes by, I think more and more how those type of interventions by my parents and by counseling really did help my mental state. I think that the mental health system in of itself has a lot of things that are, it's very justified why people would feel a certain way about checking themselves into any sort of mental institution or to get inpatient care at a hospital, and henceforth, because of that, would also, and because of experiences they have, maybe are less likely to share things like that with their therapist. And believe me, I've been there too. If you are ever in such a situation where you are definitely afraid of yourself, there's really nothing else I can do here. I am going to kill myself if I don't have some structure such as that, as in hospitalization or locked units and things of that nature. But if you aren't, I would talk to a therapist, hash out as great as you can what it means to you, and just be ready for those sort of reactions. It is, unfortunately, in our health system, especially in our healthcare system in America, very unfortunate. Almost seems like just an industry and a very much monetary motive behind a lot of those structures and a lot of those institutions, mental health specifically. So be sure to get professional care if you are feeling at all, even the least bit suicidal. And that's what I'm saying, is that talk these things out, even when you're not fully dangerous, you're not fully of immediate harm to yourself. Talk them out and try to do as much research as you can to make sure that you get to the best place, you get the best option, you get the best medicine. Psychiatric care, I think, is something that when I talk to so many people that I know who go through mental health struggles as well, and when they tell me that they've never even talked to their doctors about medicine, or that they've never wanted to be on medicine their whole lives, and it's like, a lot of these people are older than me. I'm like, well, in my opinion, again, there's no shame for the people who have a certain path that they go down their mental health journey, but definitely look into that as well. Psychiatric care and getting the medicine that those things can be more stabilizing than I think a lot of us, and a lot of education is able to give to the youth, and give to this generation, and give to the previous generations, and give to the next generations. And we're all just screwed in this country because we are a very much capitalistic structure, and very much capitalistic frameworks are within the structures of which we are meant to turn to, and that we're told to turn to as last resorts. And sometimes they're the worst resorts, so yeah.
Yeah, multiple times.
I think all queer people have contemplated that.
Probably as a...
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I don't know that for sure.
Probably like 14, 15?
Yeah, I had a pretty rough adolescence. In my case, growing up homeschooled and fundamentalist Christian in a environment when I, didn't yet know I was queer, and that was a pretty tough environment for me.
A gay kid coming into my own, not really knowing how to handle that. Lots of depressive and suicidal thoughts.
I have not.
No.
I'm fortunate to say that I really haven't.
No.
I have, and I come from a very typical Asian household who's like Asian tiger mob who's like really...
And then you got a lot of people in the conservative communities who are asking why we want to be teaching this in schools, and why we want to be having at least just as a minimal, just basic LGBTQ history, facts. And a lot of that history, by the way, coincides with American history and can explain a lot of things. There's a lot of lessons, including African slave history, which as well is not taught. There's a lot of things that are just not taught in this country, but unfortunately, I think that's not news to a lot of people, that you unfortunately have to learn a lot of these things on your own in the real world, quote unquote. But would be a lot of comfort given to many queer youth for there to be knowledge as to just that they're not alone in the struggle that they are experiencing. There's a lot of resources and there's a lot of life that you can live with being a queer person and being a gay person. And I think that there's a huge thing actually to be able to have examples and things to pull from in your own head and in your own life when you're growing up, to know that you're okay. You got this, boo. Seeing black drag queens, one time I saw one black drag queen, girl, that opened my mind up. Probably is in the 5th grade. I saw one black drag queen, girl, I never was a sign. This society is hard or something. That's what I was like. Maybe my, social anxious and isolated and completely confused and just not wanting to be here at all, straight up, period, point blank, could have been benefited.
Yeah. I mean, I've known people that have, quite a few people that have done it. I'm getting kind of numb to it, which is totally sad.
There have been times where I felt really in a hole, just thoughts of being on a crosswalk and being I wouldn't mind if a car hit me.
I have not, though. No, I haven't.
Yes. Once.
I think I was in middle school.
I was bullied in school.
High school, I was dealing with some depression that never really was treated.
It was during the pandemic. I was depressed.
Living alone for the first time. I was working multiple jobs. I wasn't taking care of myself. I was stressed about everything about life. And I was way too afraid to share that struggle with anybody.
Yep, but it just gets worse and worse and builds and builds and
builds.
You
feel comfortable talking about that? Yeah, I think it's good that we do talk about it nowadays until we start getting honest and realizing just because I have these thoughts or I've acted on them doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make me a sad person or a sick person. It just means I went through some shit, and I'm okay with that, and I'm okay talking about it.
Hey, we want to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring
I
this
don't know
kit.
about BetterHelp. I've heard a little something about BetterHelp and they sponsorships that they be giving us. Seems like there's a lot of people. Mickey Atkins, who is a therapist on YouTube, and it says YouTube has verified her as a mental health specialist. So I'm not going to say BetterHelp is good. Psychology Today is where I would suggest anybody want to go if they want to see or seek mental health care and seek specialized care. You can do like the filters. They have great advanced filter search engine options and things of that nature to be able to find a psychologist, find a therapist, and find somebody that'll be able to help you and work with you, including a lot of people that work specifically with the LGBTQ community, gender specialists, and things of that
off
nature.
your first month of therapy.
Have you ever considered committing suicide?
Yes, struggled with those kinds of thoughts. Honestly, all the way until I came out as trans. Essentially, I grew up Mormon, so I didn't really have anything to like showcase that like trans is an option.
Right.
I just knew that I hated pink, and I hated dresses,
Yep.
and I would do anything to get them muddy and dirty. But there was just something
feel
that
like an
didn't feel
alien.
right. So for a long time, I felt very uncomfortable in my body and just wanted to be out of it.
Have you ever
with gender issues
taking your own life?
Yeah.
Definitely thought about it.
No. I think life is too valuable. Yes.
It is,
At one point
but
where
don't say it like that.
I just wanted to give up.
I've had a complicated road with depression and suicide.
As a kid, dealt with a lot of childhood trauma, depression, and I wasn't comfortable letting my friends know all of my problems.
I just wanted to get away from it. To my mind, that was the easiest way out. It was me letting go and being able to finally.
And it sucks that a lot of these stories are definitely in regards to these people when they were younger and stories. There's a lot of things that are so underlooked and it's so critically, but yet already tragically and detrimentally and almost like it's just been a mass casualty. We just are not giving them the mental health care that they need. Primarily referring to queer youth not being adequately. There's just not enough there. There's not enough there, and it's very clear and very horrific that obviously a lot of mental health issues manifest very much so at a young age and at an age where somebody could be vulnerable and be very much not guided, that they don't know where to go and they need to have that help. And especially in the LGBTQ community, there needs to be more of that emphasis of just a community, at the very least in school, talking about something they don't want to teach the history. Well, then can you at least give them a group? Like, can you give them like a place to go where they can hear each other out or like have some sort of camaraderie or some bonding or something, because that's so important. People out here be like, oh, we don't want you to bother our kids. But girl, you're going to be killing your kid. I think that for the most part, the law has many things in place to prevent parents from abusing their children. And I don't see why there should be any stop or like halting where the queerness is concerned or where mental health is concerned. But
These emotions, it was a beautiful gift I could give myself to cry throughout and to not worry about what other people thought, but it was more so I finally was taking care of me.
Sometimes you gotta just kind of work through it and have those emotions come out.
I definitely should cry more.
I don't like crying because it makes me feel weak. It makes me feel less of a man.
I feel like it's very common, like, analogy is like shaking up a can of soda and you release all the pressure and it's like, you'll be fine.
Have you ever thought about taking your own life?
Yeah, probably multiple times.
At one time I took a lot of pills, hoping that I died.
One of my closest friends, she just broke up with her boyfriend and she couldn't find a job.
what's that movie, Girl Interrupted?
This is a fucking fascist torture chamber!
No. See, I worked in state hospitals. This place is a 5-star hotel.
Oh, Lordy, pick me up. Oh, Lordy.
You know, I can take a lot of crazy shit.
The Girl Interrupted wasn't the main character, I forgot her name, but there was a suicide attempt where she had downed either a bunch of Advil or Tylenol with vodka or something. I was obsessed with that movie growing up. After I got out of the hospital, about when I was 12 or 13, I got out of the hospital, I was obsessed with everything mental hospital, just for a little bit. A little unhealthy obsession with mental hospitals, because, it was crazy. That life was crazy. I felt like I was in prison. I didn't know what that was. That was incredibly traumatizing for me, that experience. And for like the 5th time in this video, probably, I'm going to say that it's as adults and as people who also want to help other people in this field, I have to be very conscious as to when I say things like the mental hospital or the hospitalization process and evaluation process in America or wherever you may be, just hospitals in general. I can't put them all down and say that they're all one way or another, because that may not be the most responsible thing. And I don't want to at all discourage somebody from going to their local hospital to get evaluated for such a thing if that's what they think that they should do.
She jumped out of the building.
I'm just not going to get up here with Trump, by the way.
I was also very sad. I was thinking about maybe I should go with her together because why didn't she tell me about all this?
Have you ever considered suicide?
both considered it and tried it. I was like 12 years old, and like I just felt like this urge, like I just didn't want to be here anymore.
What advice do you have for people who are having those thoughts?
Reach out. Please reach out for help. Honestly, it's like the hardest step that you're probably going to take is asking someone for help, no matter who it is.
I am, here to tell you that that is something you could absolutely get past.
I've experienced it. I'm proof that it gets better.
Never give up on yourself, because you would be surprised how
Tough, though.
quick things
Very
will
tough.
change.
Nowadays, I'm more accepting of when people are like offering help, that I'm actually willing to take people up on it and just say, hey, I'm going through a rough time, can I talk?
Just talk, be open. Listen is a big one.
Take
Talk
one
about
moment as it
emotions,
comes.
feelings. Talk about things that we don't want to.
A big thing was therapy for me.
I've used therapy personally. It's been very effective. I still sometimes seek treatment if I need it.
I know that I reached out to my best friend the night before I had attempted, and she was the one who like reached out to my family and be like, hey, this is not good. You should do that. And I'm very
Those
grateful
moments
for
can
her
be
for
very
that.
scary. They can be
I
like,
think things like
they
this,
just
like
seem
what we're doing
chaotic
now, and bringing voice to it is really important and can help a lot of people. But I don't believe that anybody is better off dead.
That's not going to be what my story is. I'm not going to allow that to be how this, whatever this is, wraps up.
Life gets absolutely better with time, and it's okay to feel, and it's okay to heal, and we're all loved. We're all loved.
You know
I
what?
hope
And
you
I'm gonna
all
say straight up,
can love the reflection that's looking at you right now.
Come on,
'Cause I know
brother.
you're beautiful.
You are beautiful. We all beautiful. What I want to say, I'm just going to say straight up that I cannot tell anybody. I'm not going to give anybody any sort of like false hope or false promise that things are going to always get like increasingly better and better. Like I think there's going to be a lot of ups and downs in life, and there's a lot of people, I'm sure that you've heard a lot of people who have died in unfortunate lives, and that's just how it is. You should definitely always have hope for the future, and there's always a possibility for things to get better, and things will always get better from that moment that you are in misery. They will get better, but they may not be continuously better. You may go up and down. Yeah, stay on this planet for as long as you can, boo. Kick up with your alien. We all are in this together. We're all on this planet. This is a weird-ass thing. This is a weird-ass country. This is a weird-ass time. This is a weird-ass place. This weird-ass, like, industrial revolution, electronical revolution that we be living through. I don't see it at all. Going, like, at a scary pace. Like, ChatGPT horrified me, to be honest. Like, when I learned what that was, I'm like, oh my God. Things are going a little too quick. I thought we were still with Google as the baseline for our information, but I guess not anymore. Yeah. I hope you have a nice day. Please, hang in there. Do the best you can. Try to live it up. There's no guarantee of negativity. There's no guarantee for positivity, but there is no reason why we can't try to just push for every moment that we can have the motivation to feel like we want to have some positivity in our life, to just be able to push for that and use that energy where we can. I hope you have a nice day. Bye-bye.